Hello there, guys. Right. So, great start. So what I want to show you guys today is because I am very big into Yu-Gi-Oh! Back into Yu-Gi-Oh! At the moment, and I'm thoroughly enjoying Goblin Bikers stuff and playing them all the time and test them all the time. So what I want to show you today is some of the I think the best one card starters available to Goblin Bikers. Now, the best way to start playing Goblin Bikers is for your opponent to have summoned an Xyz monster and you go from there. However, you can't rely on that, obviously. So, these are, I believe, the best one-card starters for Goblin Bikers. Now, they are definitely not all great, I won't lie to you. It's something this deck does struggle with. Honestly, I'm just hoping for, I'm going to find it. I'm really hoping for, that little guy right there, you see? I hope he's going to get released at some point as, like, the next Goblin Biker and just break the deck, But these are, I think, the best Goblin Biker starters to get you into your plays, and, yeah, I'll show you how they work. So I'll start off with what I think is the best one, which is Terratop. So, in this scenario, we're going to play as if you only have one card in your hand and go from there. So, Terratop. You special summon Terratop. Using Terratop's effect, you will search your deck and you will grab yourself a Takatomborg to hand. You special summon Takatomborg. You go into an overlay, and you're going to summon Goblin Biker Big Gabonga, because that's most of the deck, quite frankly. Big Gabonga effect, you're going to search for Goblin Biker Dug Charger. Add that to hand. Effect of Dug Charger. Detach one of these to special summon itself from the hand, then use Dug Charger's effect to search your deck for Goblin Biker Grand Entrance. You're then going to activate Grand Entrance to search your deck for Goblin Biker Clatter Exploder, using the next part of Goblin Biker Grand Entrance effect to detach the last material from Big Gabonga to special summon Clatter Exploder to there. You're then going to overlay these two to summon Xyz Armor Torpedo. Use Armor Torpedo's effect to detach two and draw one card. There you go, nice little card advantage right there. You're then going to overlay and summon Xyz Armor Fortress on top of Armor Torpedo. Use Armor Fortress's effect if you haven't drawn one or both of your Xyz Armor cards in your deck to add that to your hand. If you've drawn both and you can't detach, you can at least still go from here. We're gonna act as if you can add it to your hand though here. So you're gonna detach one to add it to your hand, and then you're going to summon Full Armor Dark Knight Lancer over the top of that. Once you've summoned Full Armor Dark Knight Lancer, you are going to use the effect of Grand Entrance. Going to banish itself from the graveyard to add Clatter Exploder back to your hand, and you do that by detaching Armor Fortress. Clatter Exploder back in hand. You have not used your normal summon yet this turn, so you'll normal summon Clatter Exploder, use its effect to summon Dug Charger from the graveyard, and you can go from there. So, what you can do here, if you're running Fiendsmith cards, you can go into your Fiendsmith plays by going into that Light Fiend Link monster, you know the one, the Closed Moon thing, that one, right? So you can use those to go into that. For the sake of this, I'm going to show you what it looks like if you don't have Fiendsmith cards. So you would most likely want to overlay these, and then go into Bamboozling Gossip Shadow. The reason I think this is slightly superior to Cicada King, at least starting off, I would say, is that it lets you detach two. So you can detach two from there to negate the, to change the effect of one of your opponent's monsters, and then you can go from there. So you're getting rid of both Clatter Exploder and Dug Charger, and then during your opponent's turn, you can use Clatter Exploder's effect to detach from something else and special summon itself. You can then special summon Dug Charger, which you otherwise wouldn't have if it was still attached to, say, Cicada King, which you wouldn't necessarily want to detach because it's useful on Cicada King, you see. Then during the end phase, what you would do is, first off, if you have the Xyz, full art of Xyz in hand, you'd set that card, and then you're going to attach Goblin Bikers Gone Wild to Big Gabonga. Sorry, you can't really see that there. There you go. To Big Gabonga, and that is your going first. That's your 1-card starter going first. Obviously, if you have extenders, you have this, you have that, you can do more than that, but this is honestly a very solid amount of disruption. So during your opponent's turn, you can then change one of their effects with, apologies, with Gossip Shadow. You can then, so detach these two to change an effect. You can then use the effect of Cloud Exploder to detach from Big Gabonga and special summon this. Use the effect of Cloud Exploder to special summon Dope Charger. Use Gone Wild's effect to take one of your opponent's cards and attach it to Big Gabonga. Then use Big Gabonga's effect to attack one of your opponent's monsters and attach it to itself. Then you would use Full Armor Xyz, you'd overlay, you'd summon, probably Cicada King. You'd then use this secondary effect of Full Armor Xyz to to equip. Generally, you want to go with Armor Torpedo, equip it to Big Gabonga for some extra protection. And also from bonus damage, and then you get Dark Knight Lance's effect to take one of your opponent's monsters. So there's a lot of disruption with just 1-card starter. You can honestly, if this goes uninterrupted, or hopefully if you don't need any extenders, this goes uninterrupted, you can usually win from this, provided they don't have a Raigeki, because that would do it. Raigeki's not going to be good, or Lightning Storm would also not be super duper, quite frankly. But so that is your 1-card starter using just Terratop. That's the Terratop starter. Very good, I think. I think the best 1-card starter available to you in Goblin Bikers. The others are fine. I'm not opposed to the others. I think that the second best one, which I'll show you in a moment, is going to be Tour Guide. I think Tour Guide is just far superior. Far superior to the others, not Terratop. Terratop is definitely the best one. Apologies. So, next up, I'm going to show you the Tour Guide one. Now, the reason I think this one is worse is because it uses your normal summon, and if it gets stopped early on, you're kind of done. But it is, I think, the better of the others available, right? So, nice and simple, you start off by summoning Tour Guide of the Underworld, from the Underworld, rather. Use the effect to special summon... Did I not get it? I'm daft. I'm silly. What am I like? Didn't take it out of the deck. And then I shuffle the deck so I can't find it. There we go. To special summon Me Merciless from the deck. You then overlay into Big Gabonga, because again, this is Big Gabonga.deck. Use Big Gabonga's effect to add Dope Charger to your hand. Use Dope Charger to detach Me Merciless and special summon itself. Use the effect then to add Grand Entrance to hand. Use Grand Entrance, special to add Cloud Exploder to hand. Cloud Exploder effect to detach, rather I should say, Grand Entrance effect to detach and special summon Cloud Exploder. Cloud Exploder to special summon Me Merciless. Overlay these two. Summon Armor Torpedo. It looks very familiar now, as you can probably tell. Detach, draw a card, that, detach, add to hand, that, and then you're going to use Me Merciless's effect to detach from Dark Knight Lancer and special summon itself. And then once again, you overlay, you go into either Gossip Shadow or you're going to go into whatever the case might be. Whatever you want to do here. And that, it gets you basically to the same point with a different starter. It's the exact same thing, different starter. The only difference I would say here is that if you are going into your Fiendsmith plays instead, the only issue you have is that Me Merciless gets banished rather than getting sent to the graveyard. If it goes onto an Xyz monster first as a material and then gets sent to the graveyard, it avoids the banish. However, if it gets sent to the graveyard immediately as like a link play, it will just get banished. So the only downside of this is that you lose Me Merciless, and Me Merciless is quite good. So that's the only downside to this one. Aside from the fact of the normal summon, obviously. So that's the Tour Guide one. As you can say, it's very similar. It's very, very similar to the Terratop one. It just uses your normal summon, and therefore I think is a bit weaker. But overall, it's the same sort of thing. The same vibe, same thing. You get it. You get it. Right, and this is a starter. I actually won't lie to you. I learned this starter the other day because this is. I think I probably could have stumbled backwards into this starter if I had just sort of been playing through and knowing the combo lines and whatnot. But it's not one that I had sort of stocked in my head as a starter, if that makes sense. and it is, I don't think it's a great starter, however, it does at least give you options. It does give you like, hey, oh, this isn't a great hand, I can go from here, you know, it gives you something you can do. So this starter is Grand Entrance. Now, it's worth noting, you can either use Grand Entrance or Gone Wild, because you're using Grand Entrance to get Gone Wild to hand. So you can use either one of these. Both of these, it's basically the same, it's the exact same starter, it's just that this has one more step to get this to hand, or if you draw this, you go from there. So we're going to pretend as if you didn't draw this, you drew this instead. It's obviously worse if you have this over this, because there's more chances to get stopped, but, you know, one more chance to get stopped. So, activate Grand Entrance. You're going to add Gone Wild to hand. You're going to use the effect of Gone Wild, so you can normal summon it without tributing if the only monsters you control are Goblin Bikers, or if you control their monsters. So we're going to normal summon Gone Wild. Put it there so you can see it a bit better. Use Gone Wild effect to special summon Doug Charger from deck. Doug Charger effect to add Grand Breakout to hand. You're going to activate Grand Breakout to tribute Gone Wild and special summon Me Merciless from your deck. You're then going to overlay into Big Kabonga and add Class Exploder to hand. Sorry about the glare on the cards, by the way. I'm not sure how to stop that. It's just the way the lighting is. Oh well, hopefully you can still see what's going on. You're then going to overlay onto Big Kabonga without attaching anything like that. You're going to overlay into Xyz Armor Fortress. Now, if you saw my last step profile, you would know that I run 2 Armored Xyz cards in my deck, and therefore I can detach 2. Most people don't run 2, so we're going to go as if you've only got 1 in the deck. So you're going to detach Me Merciless and add your full Armored Xyz to your hand. You're then going to use the effect of Me Merciless to detach Big Kabonga and special summon itself from graveyard. Then use Me Merciless effect to special summon Cloud Exploder, then Cloud Exploder to special summon Big Kabonga from the graveyard. You then are going to use your Grand Entrance, banish it, to detach the last material from Armor Fortress, and then add either Gone Wild or Doug Charger to hand. I prefer to add Gone Wild. I don't know if that's necessarily, like, literally the best one to do. I tend to add Gone Wild because if it all goes to hell next turn, you can start, you know, go again somewhat. So, there you go. You're then going to overlay Dark Knight Lancer, and then once again you get the idea, you go from there. The only, I would say, there actually, I would say, are a few disadvantages to this play. It's a lot slower, there's a lot more steps, a lot more chance at disruption. As I say, it's options, it's something you can do. And also, you unfortunately don't get use out of Armor Torpedo, so you're literally just a card down in your card economy. Unless you run both of the Xyz armor cards, in which case you kind of, you know, same. But still, I do think it's, well, another, I'll say, disadvantage is that this is not in graveyard. You want this in graveyard to attach it to equip it with your Armored Xyz plays. So I think this play it's nice to have in the back pocket if you need it. Honestly, you will likely need it, because this deck does, unfortunately, because, as I say, the best starters are from 2, like, it's 2 non-engine cards. It's Tour Guide and Terratop. So you are going to need this at some point, but it is not the best one you can go with. It's just an option. It's something you can do, you know? And the last one, you'll have to mind the card sleeves being different, because I don't use this one, as I mentioned in my last video. I do not use the Punk package, so the card sleeves are different, but you'll get the idea. So, the 1-card starter with the Punk package is Itele. So you're going to activate Itele to summon Xiamen. Use Yamin's effect to add Foxy Tune to hand. Use Foxy Tune's effect to, I believe, is it discard or tribute from hand? Tribute 1 Pump Master, special summon this from, you can send it from your hand to your graveyard, and special summon this from your deck. And then you might know where we're going from here. This is the exact same as the Terratop play, where you overlay, you go Big Kabonga. It's the exact same as the Terratop play, because it's 2 level 3s on field that have just been special summoned, and there's no sense of normal summoning done. So this, from here, goes the exact same as the Terratop play. I don't see the point in going over that again. You'll see it. If you want to go back and look at, hey, what's the first one? Terratop, let's have a look at that. And it's the exact same here from there. That's the only difference, is that it starts off with e-tele instead. Now, the reason I don't use this as a starter is because, as I mentioned in the last video, it's a very nice starter, and it's nice to have that option of, oh cool, I have another 1-card starter that doesn't use my normal summon. Love that. However, it's a 6-card package, because it's 3 of these cards and then 3 e-tele. Apologies. 5 of which of those are bricks. So you don't necessarily want to draw any of these. And you don't want to draw more than 1 e-tele. So it's a 6-card package with 5 bricks. I don't like it. You can use it, obviously. You do you, boo. You do you. But yeah, those are... Now, I'm sure there are some other 1-card starters out there. But don't get me wrong, I don't claim to be an expert on Goblin bikers. But these are the 1-card starters that I have found and that I like and that I use regularly. The only one of those that I don't use regularly, as I say, is the p.u.n.k one, because I don't think it's very good, unfortunately. I could be wrong about that. I mean, for example, Jesse Cotton used it, but then having said that, he did say that he sided it out every game, so I don't know. I don't think it's bad. I don't think it's bad in the slightest. I just don't like it compared to others because of how bricky it is. Yeah, I hope you enjoyed that. I hope that was useful to you if you are a Goblin Biker fan like myself. As I said, I am going to take this deck to YCS Birmingham. Can't wait to do that. It's going to be really good fun. I'm going to take it with the Fingsmith cards involved. Honestly, it's the... I guess there's a little bit of advice now, and it's obvious advice. It's very obvious advice for anyone who's played Yu-Gi-Oh before. But hey, some people might not know it. You don't know. The best way that I've noticed to improve my gameplay is just to play a lot. And that sounds dumb. It sounds obvious and dumb, but it really is the best thing. So, as an example, like, I see a lot of videos now and then on YouTube that are like, mathematically, the best way to play the game. Do this, make your deck like that. And I think those videos are super useful. I think those are very useful resources. Those are very cool things to have of like, okay, cool, if I can aim to have this many starters, this many hand traps, this many this is... I think that is a really good starting point for a lot of people getting into the game. Don't get me wrong. But the best thing that has helped me get better at the game is just play a lot. I've just been playing constantly on YGO Omega for a while, and I've noticed my play getting a lot better. I've noticed it getting so much better, because every time I sort of have a bit of a loss streak, I'll tweak my deck. Sometimes the tweaks don't work out, and I untweak it. Sometimes they're like, okay, that's working better now. So yeah, I guess this is some unwarranted advice that no one came here for, but yeah, if you want to improve at the game, just play more, you know? I don't claim to be amazing at the game. I'm doing it just for fun. But if you want to improve, you can do so by playing more. If you don't want to improve, if you're happy with what you're doing, that's wonderful. I'm so happy for you, genuinely. That's awesome. I'm glad that you're having a fun time still. But yeah, either way, those are the starters that you can use with Goblin Biker. Again, I'm sure there's some that I missed. These are the ones that I at least know of and understand how to use and know the combo lines for. Yeah, there you go. Hope you enjoyed that. Hope you had a fun time watching. I hope it was useful to you. Let me know in the comments if there's any that I missed, because I'm sure there's some that I don't know. I'd love to know some more so that I can perhaps implement them. All right, take care. Bye-bye.